The excavation team huddled around the sarcophagus, their breaths visible in the chilled subterranean chamber. The faint hum of portable floodlights highlighted the intricate carvings on the walls, ancient glyphs spiraling into patterns that seemed to defy logical interpretation. Dr. Elena Morneau, head archaeologist, adjusted her glasses as she traced her fingers over the inscription on the lid. "This doesn't make sense," she murmured. "It's not just funerary text. It's procedural." Beside her, Dr. Kamal Idris, a bioengineer specializing in ancient pathogens, leaned closer. "Procedural? Look here." Elena pointed to a cluster of symbols. "This sequence is repetitive, almost like a set of instructions. Not for the afterlife, but for something tangible. Something here." The team's linguist, Dr. Priya Rao, squatted down to study the glyphs. Her brow furrowed. "She's right. These aren't prayers. This is engineering. Combine the life essence with the chamber of renewal. It's describing a process." "The Osiris Resurrection Protocol," Kamal whispered. His words echoed eerily in the chamber. Everyone turned to him. "What did you say?" Elena asked. Kamal hesitated. "It's a fringe theory, mostly dismissed as pseudoscience. Some believe that the myth of Osiris being dismembered and resurrected was never a metaphor. They think it was a literal account of cloning." Elena's eyes widened. "Cloning? You mean these symbols could be describing an ancient form of genetic engineering?" Kamal nodded. "If that's true, this isn't just a tomb. It's a laboratory." The discovery sent shockwaves through the scientific community. Within weeks, the sarcophagus and its surrounding artifacts were transported to the Osiris Institute, a state-of-the-art research facility nestled in the Nevada desert. There, a multidisciplinary team of scientists, engineers, and linguists worked tirelessly to decode the instructions. Elena and Kamal led the effort. The chamber's hieroglyphs provided a blueprint, and fragments of preserved scrolls offered further guidance. The team meticulously reconstructed the ancient process, incorporating modern technology where ancient gaps persisted. The climax of their research came when they unearthed a small, sealed canopic jar hidden within the sarcophagus. Its contents were unlike anything they'd ever seen. "This isn't human DNA," Kamal announced one night, staring at the sequencing results on his monitor. The rest of the team gathered around him. "What do you mean?" Elena asked. Kamal enlarged the genome structure. "It's a hybrid. Partly human, partly something else. Something extraterrestrial." A tense silence filled the room. Dr. Priya Rao broke it. "So the pharaohs weren't just divine in title. They were hybrids? Descendants of aliens?" "It would explain the legends of their godlike powers and wisdom," Kamal said. "And it gives new weight to why they were so obsessed with preserving their bodies. They weren't just safeguarding their passage to the afterlife. They were preserving the genetic material needed for this." He gestured to the lab's centerpiece, the reconstruction of the Chamber of Renewal. Built using the decoded glyphs and reverse-engineered ancient artifacts, the chamber pulsed with a faint blue glow. Elena crossed her arms, skeptical. "Even if we have the DNA and the chamber, can we really bring someone back?" Kamal's eyes sparkled. "There's only one way to find out." The first test subject was a high-ranking pharaoh identified from the glyphs, Menkora, known for his reign during the 4th dynasty. The canopic jar contained what they believed to be his genetic material. The team worked in tense anticipation, following the protocol to the letter. The chamber hissed as it sealed. A sequence of lights activated, bathing the room in an otherworldly glow. Inside, the genetic material was suspended in a nutrient-rich medium. Machines hummed, and monitors displayed streams of incomprehensible data. "Commencing final sequence," Kamal announced. His voice trembled slightly. The room watched as the chamber's glow intensified. Tendrils of light seemed to weave together, forming a humanoid shape. Minutes passed, each one feeling like an eternity. Then, with a final pulse, the chamber went dark. The team held their breath as the chamber door slowly opened. Inside lay a figure, curled in the fetal position. Steam wafted off his skin, which shimmered with an unearthly sheen. "Oh my God," Elena whispered. "It worked." The figure stirred. His eyes fluttered open, revealing irises of an iridescent gold. He sat up, his movements deliberate, almost regal. When he spoke, his voice was deep and resonant, though the words were incomprehensible. Priya stepped forward cautiously. "It's an ancient dialect," she said, listening closely. "But he's asking, where am I?" Kamal swallowed hard. "Tell him." Priya nodded and responded in the same dialect. The pharaoh's gaze swept over the room, taking in the technology, the scientists, the strange garments they wore. His expression darkened. "He's demanding to know why we've woken him," Priya translated. Kamal stepped forward. "Tell him we're scientists. That we want to understand his world, his people." Priya relayed the message. The pharaoh's eyes narrowed. He said something sharp and guttural. "He says we've made a grave mistake," Priya whispered. "That the gods will not forgive this trespass." The days that followed were a blur of tension and discovery. Menkora, as he identified himself, displayed knowledge and abilities far beyond what the team expected. He spoke of celestial visitors who had guided his reign, sharing advanced knowledge in exchange for their partnership. But he remained guarded, his warnings against tampering with the divine order growing more dire. One night, as Elena reviewed footage of Menkora's interactions, the facility's power flickered. Alarms blared. Kamal burst into the control room. "He's gone," he said, panic in his voice. Menkora escaped the containment wing. Elena bolted to her feet. "What do you mean escaped?" "The security protocols are useless," Kamal interrupted. "He's not just intelligent. He's otherworldly." As they raced through the corridors, a chilling thought struck Elena. If he's trying to leave the facility, he might want to activate the rest of the protocol. The glyphs mentioned multiple chambers. "You think he'll try to revive others?" Kamal asked. Elena nodded grimly. "And if he does, we might be unleashing something far more dangerous than we're prepared to handle." They reached the lab where Menkora had been held, only to find it in disarray. The chamber of renewal was empty, its systems overloaded. But worse, the glyphs surrounding the sarcophagus glowed faintly, as though activated by some unseen energy. "He's not just trying to escape," Kamal said, his voice barely a whisper. "He's calling them." Elena's blood ran cold. "Calling who?" The answer came moments later. The ground trembled, and a low, resonant hum filled the air. From the desert above, strange lights pierced the night sky. Something was coming, and whatever it was responding to Menkora's call. In the control room, the team scrambled for answers. Surveillance feeds showed Menkora standing on a dune, his arms raised as the lights coalesced above him. Elena turned to Kamal. "If we can't stop him, this might be the end for us all." Kamal's gaze hardened. "Then we don't stop him. We negotiate." As the lights in the sky intensified, a ship emerged, sleek and silent, its surface shimmering like liquid metal. Menkora turned, his golden eyes locking onto the team watching from the control room. His expression was one of both authority and forewarning. Elena knew they were out of time. "We need to approach him. If he's calling reinforcements, we'll need to make our case before they decide to wipe us out." Kamal nodded. "Or convince them we're worth sparing." The team gathered what they could and stepped into the desert night, the alien ship casting an otherworldly glow on the dunes. As they approached Menkora, his voice rang out, firm and commanding. "The gods arrive," he said. "Your world is under judgment." Elena stepped forward, her voice steady despite the fear coursing through her. "We're not here to oppose you. We're here to understand. Help us understand why we should fear the gods you speak of." Menkora's gaze softened slightly, but his stance remained unyielding. "The gods do not forgive hubris. To awaken me was to challenge the order they set. But perhaps you may yet prove yourselves." The ship's hull began to shift, an opening forming as light spilled out. Figures emerged, their forms humanoid but clearly not human. They radiated a presence that made the air itself feel heavier. One stepped forward, addressing Menkora in the same ancient dialect he spoke. Priya quickly translated, her voice trembling. "They're asking if these people are worth sparing." Menkora turned back to the team, his golden eyes piercing. "Your fate lies in your ability to convince them that humanity deserves a place in the cosmos. Speak wisely." As the alien figures surrounded Menkora, the tension in the air was palpable. The leader of the beings stepped forward, his silver, translucent robes rippling in an unseen wind. His elongated fingers gestured toward the team, his voice resonating with a frequency that seemed to bypass the ears and speak directly to the mind. Priya flinched, clutching her head. He's speaking directly into my mind," she gasped. "He says our awakening of Menkora violated a pact made eons ago. Earth's people were to remain isolated until deemed ready." "Ready for what?" Elena demanded. The alien's gaze shifted to her, his expression unreadable. Priya's voice shook as she translated. "To join the galactic order or face annihilation." Kamal stepped forward. "Wait. We didn't know. Menkora's sarcophagus was a mystery we sought to understand. We meant no harm." Menkora spoke, his voice steady but edged with authority. "Ignorance is no shield against divine law. Yet, there is a chance, a trial. Prove your worth as stewards of this world." The alien leader's shimmering eyes seemed to scan the team, as if gauging the truth in their intentions. "The trial will begin." In a flash of light, Elena, Kamal, Priya, and 2 other team members found themselves in an alien environment. They stood on what appeared to be a massive metallic platform suspended in a void of stars. The air crackled with energy, and a translucent dome above them revealed celestial bodies orbiting far-off systems. A booming voice filled the space, neither alien nor human but a fusion of both. "Your trial is to demonstrate unity, ingenuity, and the preservation of life, qualities required to coexist in the cosmos. Fail, and your planet will be eradicated." Elena's voice quivered. "What are we supposed to do?" The floor beneath them shifted, forming a maze-like structure. At its center, a glowing sphere pulsated with chaotic energy. The alien voice echoed again. "Retrieve the sphere of concordance without allowing its energy to destabilize. Success ensures survival. Failure ensures destruction." Kamal crouched, examining the maze. "It's not just a maze. Look at the walls, symbols, equations. This is a puzzle designed to test our knowledge." Priya added, "And the sphere's energy, if it destabilizes, it could take us all out." Elena nodded, taking charge. "All right, everyone. Kamal, you handle the equations and symbols. Priya, figure out the energy fluctuations. I'll lead navigation. We stick together." As they ventured into the maze, the walls shifted, responding to their movements. At every turn, symbols glowed, and Kamal worked frantically to decode them. "These aren't just hieroglyphs," he muttered. "They're multidimensional equations." Priya monitored the glowing sphere's energy from a handheld device provided by the aliens. "It's rising. We need to move faster." Halfway through the maze, the team encountered an unexpected sight, another human. He was disheveled, his clothes torn, and his eyes wild. "Help me!" he cried. Elena froze. "Who are you? How did you get here?" The man stammered, "I was part of an earlier team, a secret mission from another government. They failed the trial." Kamal frowned. "If they failed, why are you still alive?" The man hesitated, then lunged at Kamal, grabbing the handheld device. "I'm sorry. I have to survive," he screamed, bolting into the maze. The sphere's energy spiked dangerously. Priya screamed, "It's destabilizing. We have to get it back." The team pursued him, navigating traps and collapsing pathways. When they caught up, the man stood near the sphere, holding the device like a shield. "I can't let you take it. If I bring it back, they promise to spare me." Elena stepped forward, her voice calm but firm. "If you destabilize the sphere, no one survives. Not you. Not us. Not Earth. Let us finish this. Tears streamed down the man's face as he reluctantly handed over the device. I'm sorry. I was desperate. With the device back in their hands, the team reached the sphere. Its energy radiated with immense heat, and Priya's readings showed it was moments from collapse. Kamal adjusted the device, aligning its output with the sphere's chaotic pulses. It's like a heartbeat, he muttered. We need to stabilize its rhythm. Elena directed Priya to recalibrate the device while she and Kamal worked on interpreting the final symbols. As the sphere's energy stabilized, the maze walls began to glow, and the voice returned. You have demonstrated ingenuity and cooperation. But the final test remains, a choice. The maze dissolved, and they were back on the metallic platform. Before them stood Menkora and the alien leader. The alien spoke. Choose. Sacrifice Menkora, and Earth will remain isolated but unharmed. Spare him, and your people must integrate into the cosmos, with all the risks and responsibilities that entails. Menkora's golden eyes met Elena's. The choice is yours. But know this, my resurrection was not chance. It was destiny. Elena turned to her team, their faces pale with the weight of the decision. Kamal whispered, if we isolate, we're safe but stagnant. If we join, we risk everything. Priya added, but we also gain everything: knowledge, advancement, connection. Elena faced Menkora. You speak of destiny. What happens if we integrate? Menkora's expression softened. You will face challenges beyond imagination. But you will also find allies. The cosmos is vast, and its dangers are matched only by its wonders. Taking a deep breath, Elena turned to the alien leader. We choose integration. The alien inclined his head. So be it. The platform dissolved, and the team found themselves back in the desert. The alien ship hovered above, its lights dimming. Menkora stood beside them, his presence commanding yet serene. You have chosen wisely, he said. But the gods will watch. Prove your worth, or face their wrath. The Osiris Institute became a hub for interstellar collaboration. Menkora served as an ambassador between humanity and the galactic order, guiding Earth through its integration. But whispers of dissent grew among factions on Earth, fearing the consequences of their cosmic entanglement. In the shadows, the man from the maze worked with rogue nations, scheming to sever the ties between Earth and the cosmos, no matter the cost. And in the distant void, ancient beings stirred, their gaze fixed on Earth, waiting to see if humanity would rise or fall.